Hey folks, it's Brad Brain here. I've got something important to tell you. So this week I had one of those phone calls from a client that every financial advisor hates to get. They had just gone to their doctor and now they're wondering what they have in place for insurance coverage. So all professional financial advisors know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that oh no moment. Oh no, this person that I've been working with that I know their situation, I know their family, there's something in their life that's very, very serious. And what I always think about is, did I do my job? Did I tell them about the ways they could be protected? This literally keeps me up at night. When I get these phone calls is, did I tell them about critical illness insurance? Did I tell them about disability insurance? If I tell them about it and they say no, then I've done my job. But if I didn't tell them about it, it's a terrifying thought to me. So here's where, fortunately, this particular gentleman does have two disability policies, in fact. So it doesn't change the fact that he's got a very, very, very serious health concern, but at least there's going to be some financial resources to help him deal with it. That's what insurance does. It doesn't change the fact that you're going to get sick or not, or hurt or not, or even killed or not. But what it does change is how you are able to deal with it. So I've been doing quite a bit of insurance lately in all stages. We've been placing new business, we've been servicing clients. We now have this imminent claim we're gonna be making. It's the service of this. This is a separate client, and this is what I want to draw attention to. And it's not just this one particular client. I'm using him to tell a bigger story. The bigger story is we have a cognitive bias as human beings to underestimate substantial risks and focus on things that are either recent or dramatic. Like, as an example, well, the best example of all right now is coronavirus, right? We've got the entire planet is thinking about coronavirus. And listen, this isn't a political statement. I got my mask right here. We take our precautions. I'm not saying that we should not. Of course we should. Anybody who isn't taking precautions right now doesn't understand viruses. So I'm not saying that. But imagine though, just for a minute, if we gave the same attention to things like obesity, right? If we had a cross-cultural focus on healthy living, smoking, alcohol consumption, all of the things that we take for granted and statistically have significant impacts on mortality and morbidity. But we don't. How many times, I am one of the guys. I'm packing around too much weight on my middle, and I've been doing it for a long time. And I'm trying, but if I was really trying, it would have come off a long time ago, right? So I know it's important, and yet it hasn't been the priority. I'm not giving it the same attention as the mask wearing. So this isn't unique to any particular person, but here's where I want to, again, and I'm including myself in this, I want to talk about this one particular person because this is a situation where people underestimate their need for insurance. They either think that they don't need as much as they actually do, they won't need it for as long as they actually will, or that their situation will get to a spot where they won't need it. They'll be able to walk away from it. So I'll give you examples. I remember clearly, this happened 20 years ago, maybe even more. But there was a fellow, I was trying to tell him he needs some coverage, life insurance coverage. He had a spouse, and he could not justify spending $17 a month, I think it was, for a $100,000 term 10 policy. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically the most basic coverage I think you could possibly even consider, right? Term 10, 100,000 is a very, very modest policy. And he was trying to rationalize whether that was worth it or not. And my only thought in that case was, dude, you think that little of your wife that you won't spend $17 a month to make sure that she's going to have at least something if something happens to you? Oh my goodness, right? Like that was my thought. I didn't verbalize it, but being honest with this video. So there's that part. The other thing that happens, and this is where this cycled up this week. A fellow, he bought a term 10 policy 10 years ago, it just renewed at higher price, And this is a big deal, right? He's going, well, I didn't, like, how come well, the term 10 policy did exactly what it was supposed to do. It got the least possible premium for the first 10 years, and then it has a scheduled renewal at the 10-year renewal that it's going to go up in price. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Now, along the way, we told him this at least going back 4 years, and perhaps more if I dug into the records, about his options for converting it. And at the time of the application, we showed him term 20. And so he didn't want to do that though. The term 20 would have been $40 a month more. So he didn't want to pay that $40 a month. And now he still has coverage and he has needs, and his premium just went up from $70 to $400. So if he spent the $40 extra at the start, he wouldn't have that, $330 increase right now, right? So the issue though is that people, here's the kicker. So he's still not seeing the need. You know what? This is where I really want to talk about. He's still not seeing the need for coverage, even though he's currently on a disability claim with a number of conditions, including a heart condition. So this part baffles me, is how can somebody have a heart condition and not recognize the need for insurance? He's being paid. He's currently being paid on his disability contract and still having a hard time wrapping his mind around the need for insurance. He a little while ago he inquired about, it was only a year ago actually, he inquired about dropping his disability coverage by $1,000 a month just to save a couple of bucks, right? And fortunately he didn't proceed with that, because right now he would have $1,000 a month less to live off of now that he's on claim. So the issue then in this particular case is he sees the premium as the problem. And the premium is not the problem. The premium is the solution to the problem. The problem is the fact that as humans, we get hurt and sick and killed. And we have people that we love and we want to make sure they're okay. And insurance is one of the ways that we can do that. The premium is the solution, because what he is doing with this insurance policy is putting the insurance company on the hook for $500,000 that will take care of his spouse and children if something happens to him. That is a solution. That is not the problem. But the issue though is he wanted to save as much money as possible. And inevitably, when you save as much money as possible, there's trade-offs. And his trade-off was he doesn't have as much coverage as he probably should have, but also the time frame that the premium was locked in for was a lot shorter than what he needed it to be, this happens all the time. People think, well, I'm just going to get a term 10 policy or maybe even a term 20 policy because by that time I won't need it anymore. This is a cognitive bias. This happens a lot, and it's for almost always wrong. People will underestimate how much they need, how long they need it for, and how bad things get when your health changes in a very, very serious way. People will say things like, well, we'll just sell the house. No, you won't. You telling me you just got a cancer diagnosis, you're just going to sell the house? No, you won't. Or they say, oh, my wife will be okay. No, she won't. Well, she's not your wife anymore. She's your widow, the mother of your orphaned children. You think she's going to be okay in that scenario? So I guess to wrap this stuff up, to me, it's really, really important that we don't give full credit to how serious these situations are, how common they occur, and how significant the financial impact is. Insurance doesn't change whether you're going to get hurt, sick, or killed, but it will help you deal with it. And the other part is, don't underestimate how long you need the coverage for. I've had so many people say to me, I'm only going to need it for a certain period of time because they think the mortgage will be paid off or what have you. Well, you know what? A lot of times they're wrong. A lot of times the insurance will come up for renewal and they still need it. They absolutely still need the coverage. So now we're dealing with a situation that if we planned properly to begin with, we wouldn't be trying to make the best of the situation at renewal time. But the other thing is, let's say, just for sake of discussion, that the person's right and they are very successful. Well, that doesn't mean that you don't need insurance anymore. It means that your need for insurance is evolving from income replacement to estate planning. Because here's the thing, the price of success is taxes. And most people aren't going to want to live their lives and work hard for all those years and accumulate some good wealth only to see as much as half of it lost to taxes. So don't underestimate how much coverage you need, how long you're going to need it for, and what's going to happen to your family if something bad happens to you. Or for that matter, what's going to happen to you if something bad happens to your family. So the answer to all this stuff is talk to a trusted insurance professional who will be able to show you your options and so you can make an informed decision. I'm Brad Brain. If you have any questions, if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know. Stay safe and healthy. Take care.